Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I am Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll talk about a summer intern which is specifically designed for US citizen students at UG universities or at the UG level, and this is for students who want to go and work in Singapore during the summer vacation. So essentially this is known as the RIPS intern program in Singapore, and there is a corresponding program at Los Angeles. This is meant for foreign students with respect to the United States, but the Singapore program is meant for US students to go and spend their summers in Singapore. This is typically during the months of May to July. Now this RIP stands for Research in Industrial Projects for Students. This program is going to be conducted by the Institute of Mathematical Sciences, that is the IMS, at National University of Singapore, which is one of the renowned universities around the world. So it's a top ranked institute. Like I mentioned before, it is open to US citizens. It may also accept permanent residents, so you need to check on that. There is some confusion about it at different parts of the web page given. I'm going to give you the web page link in the description box so you can find more details there. Now this entire RIPS program was brought out by the Institute of Pure and Applied Math in UCLA. So essentially the problems which are being posed here are going to be problems in pure and applied math. So what is expected, that you are a math student, maybe a student in math, in computing, even in engineering. So the projects are going to be pretty rich and sophisticated as far as math is concerned. Now what are you going to do? You are going to work in cross-cultural teams with students from National University of Singapore and also some students from different countries in the Asian region. So these could be students from the ASEAN region, for example. And what you are going to do is that there are going to be projects from different sponsored companies. These are typically regional companies. These projects are going to be conducted in the English language, and all the local students are also going to speak English. So there is no need to learn Mandarin in case you are interested in this particular fellowship, but if you know it, there is no harm in that because you can use it in several parts of Singapore. Now the stipend is $4,000 for this internship, which is pretty good. They are going to pay for the travel to Singapore and back to your country. So if you are somebody who is living in New York, then you can travel from New York to Singapore and back, and this money is going to be provided to you by the internship itself. Housing and meals on campus are provided, and of course if you are somebody who hasn't been in Singapore, let me tell you that Singapore is the best place if you want to eat, because they have so many vendors for different type of foods, different cuisines from the Asian region, that you are going to be very surprised. And of course if you are somebody who wants to eat at any of the pizza or burger joints, these are also going to be available there. Now this internship is also open to graduating students, so this is very useful if you are somebody who is finishing off his degree, is not yet lined up a job, or maybe has some months to go to a job or continue on graduate study and you want to spend some time. So Singapore would be a nice place to spend a summer doing research in this problem. Now the problems which are going to be posed to you are involving math, computing, statistics and data. So I would say that if you are interested in this fellowship, make sure you take courses in calculus, differential equations, linear algebra, probability and stochastic processes, numerical computation and so on, and also make sure that you know some computer language. For example, you will certainly end up knowing MATLAB if you have been working at a university, but also make sure you know Python or either Java, C++ or Julia. So Julia is one of the upcoming scientific programming language which I would suggest you to learn. I will put a video on the end screen about the advantages of learning Julia. So again, Julia, like Python, is free. You can easily download these languages and you can use them on your PC or laptop. Now the National University of Singapore is located at the center of Singapore, so it's got very good public transportation facilities. So if you are somebody who has not been in Singapore, again you can buy a monthly pass or a pass for the complete transportation system, and this lets you go in the metro rail system, it gets you go in the bus system and so on. So you can go to various places during your weekends. Maybe you can go to the zoo, you can even go to the airport, which is almost like a tourist destination. And there are a lot of parks in Singapore and even beaches, because the city is small, but they have made it such that there are a lot of places to go to. And of course, if you are somebody who likes to shop, you can shop till you drop in Singapore and no harm will come to you, because it's also a very safe place. Now, some of the sponsors for the previous projects have been companies such as Google, Grub, Procter & Gamble and so on. These companies will keep changing. So essentially what the program does is that it attracts some good projects from these companies. It provides you with a mentor from the university system and a mentor from the company, and you essentially work in teams. You are expected to do your research, then you are expected to present your research and also write it up. So if you do some good work, maybe you can get a conference paper or even a journal paper out of this, or at least tag your name into a journal paper. And the internship is open for undergraduate student in math or related areas. So I would say engineering, science, data, even business would qualify as a related area, because there are many business students nowadays who are working in data science type of problems and even in quantitative finance type of problems. So Singapore is a hub of some of these domains. Now you should have completed at least 3 years into your bachelor's degree program. You should be a US citizen, and the remaining students whom you are going to work with are going to be students from Singapore and the ASEAN countries or the Asian region countries. And if you are one of these students or a student from these countries, you should contact NUS Singapore directly. So you can contact the IMS Singapore here, which is the Institute of Mathematical Sciences at National University of Singapore, and they are going to suggest you how you can be part of this cohort of interns. So you will be the representative from the Asian side, and then you will work with the guys from the American side. So remember, the IPAM, which is essentially responsible for RIPS, only deals with the US type of people or the US citizens. And if you are a non-US citizen and aspiring for the Singapore based RIPS program, then you need to contact the NUS Singapore. Again, like I mentioned before, I'm going to leave some of these links in the description box and you can take advantage of it. Now, one thing I found is that many people are not aware of these kind of internship programs, and it's always good to know of them. And if you are somebody who is beyond his BS years, maybe you are a graduate student or a parent or an elderly person, do share it with any young people you know, because these may be people even in high school or just starting college, but they can always avail of these internships later. It's always good to know of these things beforehand, because it takes some time to prepare for these internships, and these also motivate people to take appropriate courses in their curriculum rather than just take very easy courses and try to finish your degree, because that may not be good for your fundamentals in the long term. I'll end this video here. Excuse the airplanes which keep flying by. I will see you in a video sometime soon. See you then.